Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Welcome again. Today you've clicked on it. Blood pressure. It's been a while since I've touched on blood pressure, but here we go. I'm not going to pretend that I know the ins and the outs, all that we need to know, because the ins and the outs are people that think they know. They might know what the current research says, what the current state of evidence-based practice is. You know, it was also evidence-based practice of doing frontal lobe lobotomies. It was also science-based when we used to bleed people for health. It was quite scientific to take 30 grams of aspirin back in the day. So I put my faith, and sometimes we need to put faith in other people's understanding of blood pressure, but my faith isn't in the mainstream health idea of blood pressure. And yeah, so here we go. Do you like my podcast shirt? I've got a podcast shirt. I had to flip the phone because it was looking like a mirror. Still looks like a mirror, but the video will work itself out. So there you go. I've retired my other podcast shirt. It's now going to be a daily wear. So blood pressure. What spurred me on was just a thought of in the past, just listening, just absorbing and noticing. That's the actual word I was looking for. Noticing people avoiding salt. And the 2.2 regular listeners will understand that I prescribe from a schmuck, right? Many will think, but we need salt to make our gastric juices work, or to work better, at least, to acidify our gastric juices more. And there's this idea that salt hardens the arteries and increases your blood pressure. I've always been perplexed by that, because I used to have this saying. I used to have some chips with my salt, because I used to lay on that salt on my fries in the past. Fries no more. Fries. What's that? Number 3 perhaps of worst foods that we can eat. Together with donuts first, chocolate second. Then comes my number 3. Number 3, 4, 5 could be a lot of things like apple juice or juices themselves, and that sort of thing. Anyway, this is about blood pressure. So I used to have heaps of salt in the past with an okay blood pressure reading for a few decades. In the last decade, before I stumbled, it was a stumbling onto this whole Health 44 with understanding micronutrients. And only then, when I took my health seriously, because I was going to die in a decade and a half, statistically speaking, in my early to mid 60s, based on my obesity and all the other conditions I had. And so that was late coming with the increase in the blood pressure. And also family members and people that I know, acquaintances, in the past used to just salt, no salt, please. No. I never got it, but I did get it along the line, along the path of my stumbling on what I prescribe here for the world. And in my 9,000 hours that made me stumble onto what I am doing now, and probably another 5,000 hours was spent in trying to prove myself wrong, both in my own practice and my own research and experimenting with myself as well, and having it out there for the world to take account of what I prescribe. I understood from more so from naturopathic understanding that blood pressure is a micronutrient deficiency issue, and it's not a salt intake issue or saturated fat or your cholesterol and not eating right and your genetics especially. No, it's not that. Micronutrient deficiencies, those 2.2 regular listeners and viewers know that I'm going to micronutrients. Which ones? Well, since 1980, a profound, groundbreaking study and paper, and many have gone off the back of that particular paper. I forget which paper it was. Anyway, or who the author was. It's been a while since I've encountered that, but calcium deficiency and magnesium deficiency. Also with number 3 issue would be kidney blockages. So we need magnesium to constrict the calcium constricts, just like we need calcium to constrict our muscles to do a hinge movement or whichever movement on whichever joint you've got going. And together with that, messages from the brain, that sort of thing. The magnesium, with the constriction with the calcium, you need the relaxation means, and what feeds into the means to relax the vessels, the arteries and the veins, to relax and then constrict and relax. The relaxed part, we need magnesium. So calcium, magnesium. If you're deficient in magnesium, it's quite linear, it's quite correlated that you'll be deficient in many other micronutrients, and with those many others comes magnesium and selenium. Then you got the vitamins, and we're not deficient of sodium, potassium, and phosphorus, because those minerals we need in our soil, in our fertilizers, in our soils to get those extra bushels per dollar. And that's all plants need, those 3 minerals. Vertebrates, us, plus all the zoo animals that you know of, and the birdies and all that, we all need 90 declared essential micronutrients, okay? According to our body weight. So if you've got high blood pressure, it's not a salt issue. It's not just calcium, magnesium deficiency. You are deficient in many minerals. And together with that, if you're deficient in any minerals, you'll be deficient in vitamins, essential amino acids, and essential fatty acids, because you need the 60 declared essential minerals to make the vitamins work, amino acids, and the essential fatty acids to work, to enable the enzyme action, to enable the energy into the cell, recuperation, and the like. So if you've got blood pressure issues, you can have blood pressure issues if you're slim. If you are trying to keep slim by force, less calories, more activity, you're going into further deficiencies in micronutrients that you require. And if you are trying to keep fit and healthy, you better supplement more. Even if you're sedentary, we need to supplement. I would classify myself sedentary, even though I do 1 minute or so of calisthenics each day, which is quite intense, that 1 minute, but it's only 1 minute. People spend 20 minutes, 1 hour in the gym sort of thing, and so there you go. The whole fixation on salt, reducing salt intake, you are hampering your downstream chronic disease issues by not taking in enough micronutrients through not digesting enough to then break free the micronutrients from your macros, from the big calories that you take. So that's where it's at. If you don't understand that, you'll be reaching the same sort of age of a normie. 77 apparently. They're trying to say 80, 81, and for each new child that's born, they're increasing our life expectancy. No, it's not happening. It's probably going down if you compare how many centenarians we get out of per 10,000 people. At the moment, it's 1 per 10,000 people born become centenarians. 100 years ago, it used to be 25 per 10,000 people. But also back then, our life expectancy was 40. You see the anomaly of stats, how they work. Ooh. Basically, what's happened there is infant mortality rates have dropped 90+%. So it's an easy fix for the statisticians on the overall longevity, but not the per 10,000. So it may help if you take more calcium and magnesium. I know plenty of people that have got dairy heavy diets where I take enough calcium, I drink a lot of milk and take yogurt and eat cheese and the like. There's a methylation process which makes 2/3 of that calcium end up in your fecal matter, another 15 or so percent in your urine. The methylation just gone. It doesn't reach your cells. And before it reaches your cells, it doesn't even get digested properly, and it doesn't even pass through the villi in your small intestine that does most of our absorption because of decades of gluten intake. It's okay to have spent decades eating gluten, but as long as your gastric juices are under 1.0, but that's rare. That's very rare. So, and to get lowest as possible that your physiology can handle, you need to increase your salt intake. Who knows what mine is, because I don't want to be measuring my gastric juices every day, shoving a nasogastric tube down my nose, syringe, take out some gastric juice, put it on some litmus paper, the pH measuring paper, and compare the colors. What if I'm more colorblind than others? It's very unreliable. So it's easy to just eliminate the glutens. And based on how my health was going, oh yeah, I'm very gluten sensitive. So because I was obese and had half a dozen other conditions coming with a vengeance, and I caught this whole thing at the nick of time, I may have had a better longevity and health outcome. I might have gone way past super centenarian years, but I've spent nearly half a century with all the crap food. I was also a triathlete for at least 15 years. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pretty. I only did triathlon to keep off weight and to get a chick. And yeah, so that's where that went. I became obese anyway. And I was obese as a child and young adult as well. So it's not just taking more calcium and increasing your salt intake so you can absorb the calcium and the magnesium supplement as well if you have high blood pressure. Because if you have high blood pressure, there's a lot of other issues at play. There's a lot of other micronutrient deficiencies at play. So my prescription to the whole world with the whole metabolic syndrome complex, where blood pressure is one of, is to supplement and do the Health 44. And this is just a quick rundown. There are nuances in there, but basically I need to do this every episode. I only have 2.2 regulars and thousands of one-off people saying, "Who the heck is this?" Off you go. So the whole 44 health happens when you take away the first four of the 44. You take away 90+% of the supermarket glutens, oils, sugars, nitrates out. Then you bring in those four classes of micronutrients that I've mentioned. There's 90 declared essential micronutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids. Within a short time, depending on your age and your condition, 3 months you'll see improvement, total healing if you're 50 plus, 18 months, 2 years. If you're already 70, you'll get benefits. There's no total healing because you've spent 7 decades of eating the bad foods. Oh, but they've been good, they've been organic. They're still bad foods. But you'll get a few more years, you might get decades more, but you're not going to all of a sudden become a centenarian if you're 70 plus and you start this stuff, because the whole glycation paradox and all the damage already done is already there. I've had damage done into my 47th year when I stumbled onto this, and let's see how I go. Doc Wallach, the champion, the originator of this, of the whole 90 declared essential micronutrients as a commercial enterprise, he started quite late, around the same age as I started, and he's now in his mid 80s and he's slowing down. I might slow down in my mid 80s, but who knows? I might be going stronger because I don't fixate on making sure I have gluten-free pizza and diabetic cake or that sort of thing. No diabetic ice cream or cake. No pizza. Okay, because let's face it, it's made in the same oven as the normal pizza, and you get contamination that way. We will get contamination all the time anyway with gluten, because we live in a gluten world. But your chances are better, or unless you move to a gluten-free prepping type area. Yeah. So that's it. I think I've made my point. Don't fixate on not getting salt. You better increase your salt intake. Better still, the quality of salt is an issue. I've in the last 6 months started Celtic salt. Lucky I've had Himalayan salt for years now. But the normal table salt, no. It's okay to have some from it's refined. It's not the best stuff. The iodine part, even that you may not take in properly if you've got a normal standard American diet type issue going. So pink Himalayan salt, and the next, equal of pink Himalayan salt is sea salt, and then get the Celtic salt if you can. Apparently the whole world is out of Celtic sea salt because people like Barbara O'Neill have been touting it. It's all gone. I've still got, I bought 2 5-kilo lots, like it was a subscription. And all of a sudden they cut it off because they got no supply. So I've got another 5 kilos left. that'll last me probably 6 months. And I'll use my Himalayan stuff as well. So yeah, for those that haven't heard before, I probably at least 2 ounces a day of salt I take. Get that into you. So that's the quick pep talk rundown, the misunderstandings of blood pressure. I still don't understand, but I can pick someone that does understand, and I can pick the cases that are salt avoidant versus the people that still take in their salt and supplement. That's an easy observation. So I'll leave it there. I think I've made my point. The first podcast with the new shirt. And until next time, bye bye.